All right, I've gone live. I think we're okay. Okay. Hi, Miriam. I'm all set. You're going to go have some lunch and take a break, I hope. I'm glad you're here. I guess it's working. I had to make, I lost the stream that I had done earlier. It wasn't there. So I lost Kim's link and I didn't have time to start all over again. So when I get nearer to 9, I guess someone's going to have to put Kim's link in again for me. But I'm live. Now I'm live. I see me over on my iPad. I'm over on YouTube. Susan, hi. Good to see you. Whoops, I should get rid of my credit card. You don't need to see that. Hi, Hampex. Good morning to you. Wonderful to see you, ladies. I was just on for a little bit with Miriam, keeping her company as she did some beautiful paintings. She did a okay, Miriam. She did a painting of Don Quixote and his sidekick. And then she did a painting of herself with her braids blowing in the wind, and she's yelling for her son, Maxie. And Maxie's yelling back, "What? Hi, Maya." Also known as Alice in Art Supply Hoarderland. That is a mouthful. So, as you can see, I have made quite the progress. And here's Carol. And I am ready to sew this. And I am a little nervous, but I've got it pinned. And the only thing I want to sew on this is I want to sew this on the outside. So I think I will sew this around. I'll take this off. And hi, Sandra Louise at Mama's 2 Place. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. And here's the teapot. And it fits. And so here it is. Now, it is a little big. And that's a bit of a problem. And I could tuck it in a little bit more. But I'm thinking I would like to give this away. And at the end of this streamathon, give it away to some lucky person if they're interested. And I'm afraid that maybe hi, Renee. I'm afraid that a lot of people don't have teapots that small, that their teapot might be bigger. And that's why I'm thinking of leaving it bigger instead of making it smaller. That would fit this teapot. Does anybody have any thoughts on that? Or should I make it smaller or just kind of stitch it this way and leave it big-ish? Let's see, what's Renee saying? Your teapot is tall. Yeah, this was, yeah. Well, this is dragging on the bottom a little bit, so it could probably be about yay tall, you know. So it might, yeah. Alrighty. I'm not sure what I want to do. I've got it pinned and I'm ready to sew it, but thin and tall. Oh, okay. Taller than this. Well, I don't have much length. I mean, I have a little hem on it, but it would fit. So I'm thinking maybe I should make it a little tighter. Bring this side in maybe a little bit, because I don't have that even either. But it's all done. I mean, other than the embellishment, which I'm going to work on. You know, once you see, I have that tucked in, and I can tuck it in a little bit more. It's been really hard to get the pins through all of this material with the batting. I've just been fighting with it. Let's just bring this in a little bit more and see what that looks like. I hate to lose my chickens. Let's take this pin down. What would I lose over here? I wouldn't. Maybe I'll tuck it in on this side, because then I don't want to lose the chickens, you know. So let's see. Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this, and I'll tuck it in a little bit on that side, and I can tuck it in a little bit on this side, and I think anybody who gets it they can wear it as a hat. Man, because I got these little tiny pins. Let's grab a little bit of this here. So I'm trying to get all of that. All right, leave that there. Let me come over here, this side. People that know me know I am not a sewer, so I am just. Oh, you have? Well, you can watch it. I made this right from the beginning. I started yesterday at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I'm not a sewer at all. And I cut a piece of. Well, I can open it up because I can show you. I just cut a piece of batting. I took batting and draped it over the teapot to give me a general idea of how big it should be. Let's see. It's like she's in the room. Me? I'm in your room? That's cool. Yeah, my picture looks pretty good this morning. Surprised. You never know what you're going to get. I didn't turn on the one light. Carl. Me too, Carol. Okay, if you just make it the size it is, oh, I've never worked with elastic, Becky. I don't have any elastic. You didn't see me above. I see that. If you're talking about elastic, it could be added to the bottom to pull it closer. I don't know. I don't have any elastic. I'm afraid of elastic. I don't know how to use it. But how about a drawstring? Oh, yes. But I have a drawstring. I mean, I could make this, let me show you the drawstring. I mean, they could, and it's pretty, and it's the right color. Look. I don't know what that, well, yeah, that would work. This is the drawstring that would be a pain, wouldn't it? You wanted to tighten it with the drawstring. But this, I do have a drawstring, and it's kind of the right color. And And if that didn't work, they could take the drawstring out and put the elastic in. Now the question is, where would they draw it? Should they draw it in the, would they draw it in the middle? So they would have it in the middle, and they could kind of, that would probably be easier in the middle than on the ends. And then I would just, when I have to hem it a little bit, right? When I hem it, there'll be enough room for the string to, the string will be under the hem. That's how I would do that, correct? I would tuck that under there. I'm reading, not you, okay. Okay, all right. And then I would have the drawstring, like so. All right. Yeah, this is the drawstring that came with that hat box that held the lid on. Nothing wrong with it. I should take the knot out because I'm going to have to put it through there. Okay. All right. We'll think about that. That's an idea. I could just, I would add bias tape. I would add bias tape channel. I don't have bias tape. I don't know what that is. I don't have any of that. Could I use a thin strip of muslin instead of bias tape? Does bias tape, is that something you iron on or you sew in, or? I don't have that. All right. Let's go back to the, over here. There's a lot of things that I don't have. Bias tape's one of them. Okay, sew in its fabric cut on the bias. God, I hate that. Can I get rid of that heart? No, I hate that heart. Let's see. Sew in its fabric. You just I was just, no, I appreciate that. No, I depend on your advice. I mean, you're the, well, I can't go in too far because I still have to put that picture. This picture is going right here. Okay, Becky. Okay, Angie. Well, thanks for stopping by. You got to do what you got to do, right, honey? You got a town fair this weekend? Has it already started? Angie's selling her wares. All right. Okay. That's what it's going to be. Let me fold this in like so. This up like so. This like so. And people can sew elastic in it. Because I can't. I don't want to fold it in anymore. It is what it is. All right, I got to open it up so I can sew that picture in. And then we will proceed to put it all together. And I'll open it up so people can see it one last time. You can see how it's cut. And then I've got all sorts of neat embellishments to put on it. So this, I love this picture. I'll hold it up. It's a black and white photograph that's been transferred to cloth, and somebody has quilted it. You can see the quilt stitches in it. I love it. And I don't know how I got it in my, it was in my stash. No. There was some confusion. I thought I saw her and Maya, but then I'm not sure what happened. Something happened, and I'm not sure what it was. So I'm not. I don't know. Oh, okay. All righty. Okay. Well, I thought that was a possibility too, Janet, that it came in that the to-go kit. Yes, it would be. I know there's a way of doing it. I just don't know how. But I know there's a way of printing photos on fabric. That would be cool, wouldn't it? And that one's so nicely quilted. That's such a nice one. I saw. Okay. I put my sewing away. I was just sewing. No, I wasn't sewing this morning. I haven't been sewing this morning, so I have to go get my pack of needles that were made in England. Good morning, Andrea. Good morning, Becky. I bought these a long time. These must have been my grandmother's. And someone said they didn't. Singer doesn't even make sewing machines anymore. Sewing needles anymore. But I have some Singer sewing needles, I think. Anyway, these needles are really tiny with very tiny holes. So I need the cheater. Of course, if I can find it, it was over here. I got buttons to put on, and gosh darn it, the crafter's constant nemesis. Where did it go? I just had it. Where did it go? I just had it. Where did it go? I just had it. And we say that over and over and over again. And then I would often think, gee, wouldn't it be great if I could wear it around my neck? But I'd have to wear so much stuff around my neck. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thumbs up would be wonderful. And comments would be wonderful. And someone told us that when you go into comments, all you'd have to do is leave an emoji. And that counts as far as the algorithms are concerned. And I've been very happy. I've picked up a bunch of new subs, which is very exciting for me. And if the new subs, if you just sub to me, if you don't leave some sort of mark or a comment when this is all said and done, YouTube usually takes half of those new subs away, especially when you get a whole bunch around the same time. They get very suspicious, and then they just very nicely remove them, because that's happened to me several times. I mean, I don't know why, what difference does it make? And could be Mr. T of the craft world. Yes. Mr. T. Don't be messing with me. I get these pins all over the place. All right. I found the eye of the needle, so I was able to. Was I able to? No. What the hell? Oh, there it is. I did find. Oh God, I'm all right, folks. I actually had a pretty good night's sleep. I mean, I got up because Marion was in a bind, and I went over to hang out and keep her company until it was my time to come on. So, look. So I'm sewing this directly onto right through the batting. And I'm just going to have to, you know, I should pin it. Oh, God. I forget to pin it, but pinning it is great because then it doesn't get as wonky. I always forget to pin. It's one of those, I don't want to cover up the effing friend. Got to have the effing friend. And I've got some stuff to go down here, so I'm not worried about that. So let's do a little pin. If I can get the pin through. There. These pins are little tiny pins. I don't have the big ones that have the the round tops on them. I don't know. Okay, let's do this. There. Yeah, that's good enough because that'll just keep it kind of in place, and that's exactly where I kind of want it. I want the effing friends. Effing friends, yes. All right, Angie, bye. Have a great day. Okay, here we go. Let's put a stitch in here. Try not to hurt myself. I think it'll be pretty easy to hide the stitch in this because of the way it is. And Becky gave me a great idea. I'm going to sew in this little box over here. It's no, just tea time. No, not it's tea time, just tea time. Or maybe whoever wins it, I could embroider their name. Oh, no, I couldn't. I could sew their name. I mean, I could program my... I don't know if I could get that under the needle, but I wouldn't want to ruin it. Because I program my sewing machine to sew Anne. This is fun. This is much easier. Lily didn't eat all of her food this morning. That's not good. And I think it's because I put her medicine in this food this morning. I haven't been doing that every morning. I've just been doing it every other morning, so I hope that's not going to be the case. God, she's giving me fits, isn't she? Pets. I don't know what would happen if I stopped giving her the arthritis medicine. I'm assuming she'd start limping again. Colleen said there was something called pill packets or something that you can use, and they have them for cats and dogs. It's a way of getting medicine into your pets. I might try those too. If she stops eating the baby food, I can always donate that to a food bank. You know, it's not going to go to waste. I didn't think the food had any flavor, but maybe it does. I mean, not the food, but the medicine, because it's just this white powder, and it has. I mean, I haven't tasted it. Okay, Janet, gonna have brunch. Nice. I love brunch. It's a great meal. So glad you were here. One of these days, I want to just... There's Jerry Bellini. You found us. Hi, Jerry. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is a tea cozy. And I've been working on it for 2 days. Oh, yeah, I watch a lot of streams in bed, believe me. All curled up in bed with my iPad watching streams, commenting occasionally. And again, this is all made up of scraps that I had. And this is batting to keep your tea warm. I don't know where I ended up now. Where am I? It's kind of... see. I can barely see the stitch, which is good because that means you can't really see me. There's Ambex. Jerry's Ambex here. Barbara Clark has been staying up really late to be with Beth Schuler. And she's going to bed, so she might be awake and pop in before, but I don't think she'll be here anytime soon. And all of the golf course people are working this hour, getting the golf course ready for the day. They've got those big, special mowers to cut the grass on the greens real short. Yep, 6:30 here too. Eastern Standard Time. Jerry, I lived... I mean, I don't know whether it's anywhere near you were, where you are, because I don't recognize the name of your town, but we lived in in Biglerville, which is outside of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, in Adams County. Hi, Anina. Oh, you went grocery shopping? Well, good. Yeah, that's good. I have to do that. I mean, I need some things, and I have been recently having my groceries delivered, but I have to pick up a prescription at the grocery store. That doesn't mean I can't have my prescriptions. No, I could have my prescription delivered for $5, but I could get the groceries delivered and then go over and drive through the drive-through and pick up my prescription. I've been delinquent. I'm starting to get text messages. Have you picked up your prescription yet? No, I haven't. Fortunately, I didn't. I think I'm out of them today. Berks County, Pottstown. Oh, you're in the middle. Okay, alrighty. Okay, you're in the middle of the state. Never got to the middle of the state other than driving through it up to New York, the western part of New York. After we left the farm, we moved to Camp Hill, which is outside of Harrisburg. Both of my boys were born in Harrisburg Hospital. My ex went to Shippensburg University for a while, and Nittany Lions. Miriam is in the middle of Shabbat. Yes, it's Friday. That's true. I know that well. Nobles Grove. Okay, I'm familiar with, yeah. Because we lived close to 3 Mile Island, and we evacuated. We left even though there was no formal evacuation. About 100,000 people left on their own. It was a terrifying incident because no one really knew what was going on. And Miriam says, not yet. Shabbat stars. The first stars to come out. Well, we used to do Shabbat every Friday. My ex-husband was Jewish, and I would bake challah. I tell you what, I made some wicked challah. It was, did the braids and everything. Oh. And boy, did that challah make great French toast the next morning if there was any left after the Shabbat meal. I think I could almost make it. I think I probably almost remember the recipe because I made it so much. 2 big loaves every Friday. This is going really nicely. I'm happy with these stitches and the fact that you can't see them, you know? No seams. And I love this little picture here. It is so cute. And Janet Nash, and she may be right, she thinks that, for a minute I thought I was sighing. Ian, are you doing Kawanda? No, I don't. No. No, now we're going through some black, which I don't. Maybe I'll come over here. I don't wanna, yeah. It's hard to sew for me because I can't see what I'm doing. Yeah. But I'm gonna have. I got some rick-a-rack. Kind of looks like because you went from here. Yeah. This is a major sewing feat, even though obviously sewing the scraps together is, as long as I remember, as I've been taught by my sewing mentor, Becky, face to face, face to face. And I am so proud of myself because Becky, I didn't screw up once. I didn't have to take it apart once. Hi, Messy Palette. I shouldn't say anything because I'm not done yet. But I'm done sewing things together. But I almost once had them in the wrong direction, but I caught myself in the nick of time. Oh, come on. I can't see anything with my new glasses. I hate them. If I go back, I want to have a different technician because she got angry at me. She said, because when I first looked at it, I looked down, I was reading, the fine print, and I could see. I said, oh, this is great. And then I don't know what happened, but then I couldn't see. I said, I can't see it now. You just said you could see it. And she started yelling at me. And so I'm looking over the top of the glasses. So. And they're trifocals. And don't put the needle over there, and just put it like right there where you can see it. Did I say hi, Andrea? I think I did. Flo, also known as Andrea. I think I'm the one that came up with Flo a long, long time ago. I think maybe at least I think I did. I could be wrong. I think in Dee Dee's stream, I caught it. Started typing in just your initials of your title. I typed in FOLO, and then became Folo, and then they shortened it to Flo. Oh, okay, I did say that. All right. Well, you've been here for a while. I mean, in the streams, you've been hanging out. Come on, come on, come on. How exciting is this to watch someone thread a needle? It's right up there watching grass grow. And I had a little needle thing. And then it's one of those larger ones. Oh, there it is. There it is. Here it is. It's a nice big one, too. It's a blue one. And these are handy for the... I was gonna say these are handy for the hearing impaired. No. Sight impaired. Oh, come on, Ian. There. that right there. Right here. All right. So I'm pretty excited about finishing this. But I think the funnest part of this is the embellishments and figuring out where they go. And buttons, and we talked about, didn't we talk about beads yesterday too, I think. Oh, that's right. You do pop on Becky's occasionally, yeah. Yeah, they really do. And I've got a lot of them. Okay, where am I? Where am I? Where am I? I was up over here, but I can start here and come back over there. Doesn't really matter. I mean, this is obviously not going to fall off. I can thread alone usually. Yeah. Well, I can too, but I misplaced my. Recently, I've bought large needles with large, large needle holes, and I can needle those. I can thread those without the needle thing, but I misplaced the one I was using, so now I'm using these really tiny needles that I found in a pack of needles that I think were my grandmother's. So that would be very old, right? In her notions box. And these are singer needles made in England. I don't know that they make needles in England anymore, but these are coming from England. And got some serious sewers in here. Jerry and Carol and Aunt Bex. Over. And I would add all the stitching and embellishments while this is flat. Okay, great idea. Okay. Thank you. I will do that. That makes perfect sense. Yep. Why fight with it being closed? Thank you. Jerry is going to be doing live, aren't you, Jerry? Jerry's getting ready, aren't you? Yes. We were talking about it. She's got herself situated on StreamYard. Wasn't that easy, Carol? I mean, Jerry? I hope it was easy. Raoul's pan-fried turkey leg. Oh my gosh, how long does it take to pan-fry a turkey leg? That's dark meat. That must take forever. No? Unless it's a small turkey leg. They sell turkey legs at Disney, and I think it's the funniest thing when you see people walking around Disney with a big turkey leg. Oh, wow. So you didn't get the 922. You got another one. And it records. Huh. Well, that's cool. I'm not aware of that feature. Very cool. Now, did you have something to put it on? Because I was going to send you a link for the mic stand that I use to hang my camera. But you didn't ask, so I figured, well, maybe you already have a setup to hang your camera. I'll take it out of the box today. Okay. Ow. Ow. Oh my gosh. Ah, it's in my thumb. Oh, yes. Well, it's fine. It's not done. It's all right. Sophia, that's fine. You're fine. I had to upgrade my stream yard this morning. To the paid plan because I've run out of hours. At the end of this stream, I'll have used all 20 hours. So now I have unlimited hours and I have up to 10 people. I don't know how good that would be to have 10 people. Hi, Kim. And Kim's going to be on after me. At least that's the schedule that I have. Well, there's Kimberly. Good morning, Kimberly. Good to see you. 557. I think I said hi to Jen. If I didn't, hi, Jen. Kitty Jen. I know, unlimited hours. I know, big time, big time, big time. Raul's in the house. I don't know whether I said hi to you this morning. Officially, hello. Oh, you got the paid thing now? Yeah, you could have people on the free plan, you just couldn't have that many people. But now you can have 10. And I think in the free plan you can have, I don't know, 4 or 5. And really, more than 2, it's kind of hard to see what's going on. But if you're not really, doing serious crafting and you just want to have ability to talk, and see one another, a shorter Zoom. And Zoom, I think, well, you would know, Jerry, Zoom's not free. I mean, they have a free version, but I think you can only be on, for 45 minutes. And then if you want to continue, you got to get off and start another Zoom. My son's company has Zoom, and he set it up so I can use his company Zoom on the weekends because his company doesn't use Zoom on the weekends. And we were Zooming, sharing screens when we started playing video games because I would get screwed up. And he would say, let's go to Zoom. You can share your screen and I can see what you're doing wrong. Oh, I just got dogwood out to Dagwood. I think that's so funny. When every time you see that, I have that visual of Dagwood. And then going out there. And the wife behind, like running after him with a lunch bucket or because he's forgotten his lunch. Sometimes it takes men. You got the professional too? Yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't think I need it. So I may just have to pay attention because I only got it for a month, even though you get a break if you get it for a year. And then it'll automatically renew because they have my credit card. So I'll have to pay attention to cancel on that. That's why when I buy a A magazine subscription. I never use my credit card. I always write a check because I don't want to get stuck in that auto renew thing, because that's such a trap. I mean, and sometimes they give you, they're supposed to give you at least a couple of days warning, but a lot of times they don't. I've been getting a lot of like bogus renewals. I got one from, thank you for renewing your Geek Squad subscription for $320. I'm going, no. And then your heart kind of, and then they had a number to call. And of course, I tried to call a number and there was nobody there. So I always had keeping an eye on my credit card, and I haven't been charged. Geek Squad, if you're not familiar with Geek Squad, that is their computer support team that's based with Best Buy. And I can't imagine paying $320 a year for the Geek Squad. I guess unless you had a big company and needed, look at that. I love them. I love them. All righty. So I'm going to put some stuff here. And look, friend is still, I wanted to keep friend. So let's play with some, and I think, Becky, that was a great idea. Just keep it open, then I can get in there and mess around. I have this. I love this stuff. There's a name for that, I know. Let's see. Maybe I'll put that just under the picture. Cut that there and put this little piece maybe here. Oh, maybe. Oh, let's see. Oh, that would be cool if that worked, huh? I gotta stay in frame here. Would that work? Put that there. And this here. Oh, I like that. Okay. We'll do that. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. I could zoom in a little bit. Should I come in a little bit? I'm looking at the... I'll come in a wee bit. I'm afraid I can move my camera down, but I'm afraid the whole camera will come down. So let me see. I know there should be a way that I should be able to hit like the plus key on my computer and it would come up, but it's not. So I have to go to my stream cam. I bought a Logitech Stream Cam for streaming, so it's a little bit different than the webcam. How's that? It's not too bad. How about one little titch more? Is that too close? I like that's not too bad. All right, and I'm still in focus. Focus. All right, I'm going to leave that. We'll leave that for a while. Let's see whether that works. Okay, all right. And again, I lost the needle. Oh, there it is over there. Okay. So, stick this here. So this is going to be not too exciting. So you can chat amongst yourselves. I can babble on. Babylon. That's funny. Babylon. Babylon. Thank you, Carol. I appreciate that. Carol is an incredible seamstress. I mean, seamstress, that's not the right word for what Carol does. She is, what would be the word to describe what, because a seamstress is someone that, I think of a seamstress that someone like takes in clothing and a fabric artist. Yes, I will babble on. I worked for the Bank of Fabric Artists. I knew there was a term. Okay, thank you. Fiber artist, not fabric. Oh, you're making the pirate cutlasses. Yes. Sophia's boys are going to be pirates today. Is that part of a lesson? Yeah, we were talking about boxes and stuff, and whenever there was a new appliance, the appliance box was like the best toy. Oh my God. You could play in that, the appliance box forever. Build forts and and then when it would rain, that would pretty much be the end of it. But man, we had so much fun. And even smaller boxes when my grandkids were little. I'd line them all up and we would play choo choo train, and they would be on a train and then they would do that. And boxes are great toys. I have my cardboard stash and I cut the boxes up and I have them all out in the garage stacked in different sizes. And when my grandson was little, we did a lot of building with cardboard and stuff. When he came to visit, I took him out into the garage and showed him my cardboard stash. And he was impressed. His eyes got really big and he went, "Oh, wow, that's so neat." And when they were little, I built out of cardboard. I built a whole little village with like a cardboard gas station and a cardboard parking garage with ramps. So we played a lot of cardboard. I did a zoo and then I drew animals. And then I put them on like cardboard so they could stand up. And the kids were little. They didn't care that it was cardboard, And then we would do big ramps and we would race the Matchbox cars down this long sloping, ramp that was about, 25 feet long. And what I did before they came to visit, I went on eBay and I bought like a bag of used Matchbox cars, right? And little cars. And I bought a whole lot of them. A lot, LOT of them. And they were not expensive. And when I got them, I ran them. Oh, look what I did. Oh, did I do that? Oh, I did. See, that's like the first screw up that I've done. All right, so we'll go like so. Pull as much of this as we can, and we'll cut it. No, that's not cool. What did I do there? Oh, Lordy. Well, I'll just cut that there. And then I read somewhere that if you're buying like used toys and stuff like that, if possible, run them through the dishwasher. So I ran them through the dishwasher, basically, and sterilized them and dried them real good. And they didn't know. They didn't care that they were used. We were just racing them down this cardboard ramp. And Lily would just sit there. And she was so good with the boys. She really was. She would just sit there, sit next to them, watch them play. She was very chill. I want that Lily back. I want my chill Lil back. Working on it. Oh, a meat grinder. What are you going to be grinding? Let's see. I just everything to my meat grinder. Zoom done. What do we grind? I missed something. I don't know what you're grinding. I'll have to read. It's a problem when you miss parts in there. Uh-oh. See, that's what I was afraid of. Oh, gotta pull that up. How can I do that? I think I'll do this. Let's see. I'll come down here. And maybe come over here like so. Can I pull that up? We'll find out. Give it a little tug. No. That didn't work. Well, it's wonky. Right. But I think I should maybe do this. Do kind of like a closing stitch. And kind of attach that to this a little bit, maybe. Yeah. Tangling myself up here, making quite the mess, folks. I'm sorry. I probably should have started on the top, not the bottom. Hindsight, right? That good old hindsight. Yeah. And these little needles are sharp. Drew roads all over the. Oh, that's a great idea. I'd love that. Oh, so they went as a Matchbox cards. That's so cute. I'd love that. Yeah, we had Matchbox cars, and because we were big Lego fans in my house, big, huge Lego fans. Thousands of Legos. My father had a Navy trunk that had his name and rank stenciled on. It was a big foot locker, a big trunk. And at the end of the Lego time, my oldest son, that trunk was filled to the top with Legos. And then he gifted them to his nephews. So he put them in boxes and shipped them all out to Salt Lake City. And they built, oh my God, so much stuff with the Legos. And they didn't have any directions. They just built their own things. And they built, Reed, my oldest grandson, he built a soccer stadium with a bleacher stand and locker rooms for both of the hockey teams and a locker room for the refs. And he had a garage for the Zambonis. And then he had like a faux scoreboard. And he had a press box. It was hysterical. And it was made out of every kind of Lego, every color, red, green, gray, white, you name it. He didn't care what color the Lego was. If it fit, if the piece fit, then that's what he used. It was hysterical. And then he got himself a string of lights so he could light the stadium. And then we started, when I'd come to visit, we would do stop action filming. There's a great little app called Stop Action where you'd literally take 500 pictures, and then it would animate like old fashioned stop action. And I paid $4.99 to get the full thing, and that added all the sound effects, so you could have applause and you could have boos, and so we would do these little stop action films. We did a whole soccer game, and he would move the pieces. He would set the guys up in a move in soccer. Actually, it was hockey at this point. And then he would move them like a quarter of an inch. And then we would take another picture, and then he would move them and take another picture. You know how stop action works. It's very, but he was little, and he had the patience for that. When we worked together, he would move the pieces and I would take the picture. I actually posted one of his stop actions on Reels, where he's got his little guy, a little Lego guy that gets into my Lego Volkswagen and drives off. It's very short. It's on Reels. It came out cute. I love Legos too. I've been buying Legos as an adult. I built the Volkswagen. I had a red Bug. This is the blue Volkswagen Bug, and it has a surfboard, and it even comes with a cooler, and it has little wine glasses in it. Are we hiding people? Is everything okay there, ladies? Message deleted. I'm sure that was all by accident. Oh, that's okay. All right. Kimberly, always. Okay. Wanted to make sure everybody was playing nice. I went back and a guest in the stream yesterday had problems with her comments, and she talked to me afterwards, and she wanted to know whether I had blocked her, and she wasn't blocked. I don't have anybody blocked, but she said she would have comments and then they would disappear. And so I went back and kind of scrubbed through my stream yesterday. I couldn't find her because I was on for 6.5 hours, and it was just too long. Okay, thanks, Becky. So I couldn't find her. And we were talking about that. Sometimes that just randomly happens. All right, who's Ahmed Khan? Do we have? Is that? See, I spoke too soon. Do we know Ahmed Khan? Becky? Hi, Ahmed. You're new to me. Does everybody see? You don't see? Michelle saying hi. Thank you, Michelle. Hi, Ahmed. Ahmed? What does no mean? All right. Probably should tack that down a little bit, or put that, because I like that the little, whatever that is. Yeah. Put a couple of stitches there to tack that down. I'm sorry, I'm not in frame. Oh, that's called salve. Is that what this is called? This strip is salvage. I knew there was a name for it. Okay. There's the needle. Okay, yes. All right. Salvage. All right. That makes no, well, I guess it, and all material has that. All right. All right. Yeah, anybody in here that hasn't streamed to Carol's channel, maybe Becky will put her link in. Carol is starting all over again, and from 0 subscribers, and that's a long haul. I think she's planning to stream again, just as Carol. There isn't any more. They used to. They took those 3 dots away a long time ago. And that was such a great feature. But Aunt Bex and Kimberly have it covered. So thank you, ladies, for doing that for Carol. That is awesome. Carol's so busy. Oh, she's doing so much neat stuff now. I know we've talked about it several times about streaming. And it will happen. Hi, Stephanie G. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Now so let's see what I'm doing here. You know what would be really smart to do if you knew you were going to be doing something like this? Just to thread up a whole bunch of needles and just have them all threaded and ready to go and lined up. That would be so. And then, of course, you would have an assistant who would just keep on threading the needles. Oh, okay. Up early. Kiddos back to school. Yeah. It is the time for that. Even though it seems early if you're a northerner. Because let me get back in the frame. I'm sorry, guys. I'm always having to zoom in. I could never really get adjusted to the school calendar here in Florida. Because in New York, we taught until the end of June, but we didn't go back until the Monday, the day after, the Wednesday after Labor Day. So our vacation was July and August. But here in Florida, they're done with school by May, the end of May. So their school summer vacation really is, in essence, is June and July. And even though I taught here in Florida for 20 some odd years, I never could get used to going back to school like the first week of August for the teachers and the kids following. It just never seemed right. It's like something's wrong with this. And they're not in school any longer. But it's just weird. And the school district in this county that I live in, Brevard County, Florida, they have voted to go year round. And I know kids forget a lot when they have that 10-week hiatus in the summertime. And by going year round, they're not in school any longer. And they still have, vacations. They actually have mini breaks, through that whole process. Because the math teachers have the worst time, because when the kids at home in the summer and is doing no math for 10 weeks, and they come back, then obviously they have to spend almost the first quarter reviewing. So they lose a lot of valuable moving forward teaching time in math. Because I know some kids will read over the summer, they'll have reading assignments. But I don't know that many kids work on their math over the summer. Maybe they do. But it's hard. Because the kids forget so much about math. I don't know whether I'm doing this. Well, I could, because you know what? The Cantor thing has white stitches in it. I just want to kind of clean this up a little bit. I've got some little pieces hanging out here, and I just want to tuck that under, maybe, and bring it down. There's Deb. Okay, well, thanks for popping in for a sec. Hopefully we'll see you later. Deb didn't know this was going on. Had to educate her. See, you're missing all the fun. All right, that looks pretty good. Am I in frame? Come on, focus. Focus. Maybe this. Oh, this is a little fuzzy. I am kind of in focus. All right. I'm liking that. And let's stick a little down here like so. Come over here like so. I like really this. Gosh. This little needle. And the white thread, because it kind of disappears. Okay. Oh, you're so welcome, Jerry. I'm glad it all worked out. Yes. Enjoy your new camera. I hope the setup goes as easily as I advertised it would. But I think I'm off the hook because she didn't buy the camera that I recommended. So. Oh, Jerry has been around. Well, she took a 4-year hiatus and now she's back. And she does some great stuff. A lot of, well, her channel was what, upcycle or upcycle, recycle. So she does a lot of neat recycle and upcycling of the stuff and materials. And she does everything. She does fabric and all other things. A true mixed media artist. I'm so happy to see her back again, All right, I'm going to put that little piece here. Of course, now I have to find that little piece. Oh, little piece. Oh, there you are over there. There. Now, stick that right there. How's that? I'm sorry, this is so fiddly, but this is the whole process. This is going to be very fiddly. And this piece, this little, I I'm not even considering this an embellishment. I'm feeling, oh, I missed I'm considering this as part of the fabric because I was filling in a blank space. The embellishments are going to be far more blingy and exciting, I think. I hope. I think I'm going to go right over to the other side, and hopefully the white thread won't be too. Well, you can barely see that. That's good. Let's go over here now. Mm-hmm. 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 You know what? Oh, I was going to say this would be nice if it were in a hoop. I'm sorry, I'm out of. I don't think it would fit in a hoop because it's too thick. My other hoop is, well, I have a big hoop that's not being used as a piece of art. I want to finish that too. And I probably will do that Sunday. I plan on streaming Sunday. I know. Talk about on my regular time at 5 o'clock. Trying to keep it as normal as possible. I made it. I didn't go to bed until after Rosemary's stream last night. And then I crashed. Just having tears and missing my phone. Oh, I'm sorry, Anina. That's hard. I apologize. I'm sorry for your loss. Yeah, the money can't replace. You got that right. It's your loss. That's hard. Everyone's sending you hugs. This is such a great community. If you're having a hard day or you've got a loss, people jump in and send you encouraging messages and hugs and prayers and no hesitation. You're hurting, we're here for you. If you need a distraction, we're here for you. We're great distractors. I was streaming last Sunday and there was a horrific storm. And I was like getting nervous and everyone stayed and kept me kind of distracted. And I was able to stream through the storm. If I hadn't been streaming, I would have sat here terrified. So. All right. There. It's a little messy, but I'm not going to worry about it. Because Michelle told me I shouldn't worry about it. By his will in January. Oh, okay. All right. And that can be such a long process too, when you get into the legal end of it, with lawyers and wills and all of that fun stuff. I know about that. Well, I'm glad he left a will, because you don't have a will, at least in Florida, it is a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. I have found that out the hard way. All right, I'm going to tuck that under there. Okay, that's good enough. All right, now let's do some embellishments. 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 All right, this piece ended up really taking care of the top, but I was going to put this other piece on top. And I think I'm going to stitch that on top over that, because this, and I don't know, again, I don't know where I got it. Somebody made it, not me. And it's wonderful because it says someone printed this on a piece of material with a, there, oh, there, okay, it looks like the R. There is so much to be grateful for. See, they just printed it on a piece of muslin. And then there's just a button here. And then look, we've got some pretty blue beads, and they've written in love, stitched in love. And it's backed on another piece of muslin, I think. And I don't know where it came from. I have no idea where it came from. But I know where it's going. I think it should go. I'm going to put it here. That's where it was supposed to be initially. And it'll be like, it'll give the top of the thing like a really good sturdy like spine. And then I will sew all the way through. And I think I might use some floss. Go away from, leave the white thread and use some floss to give it some color. So let me get out my floss thingy and put my little teapot down on the floor. Don't break it. Put my new Baron over there. Take a whiff of Deb Farrell's lavender. Oh my God, this is so old and it still smells so good. Deb Farrell made this dried lavender in this little pouch with little holes. Oh my God, I love it. All right. This is where I keep my floss. Huh. There. All right. I don't want to. I think maybe I'm going. I am thinking maybe. We got this dark blue. I love dark blue. So why don't we go do some blue? Take some blue floss. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we'll use some blue floss. Good morning, Sandra. Now I have to get. Oh, and these are going on. Look at these. Becky made these. These are little crocheted, multiple. And I'm going to put those on here. And I'm looking for my. Oh, there they are. See, I bought these. And these are Singer sewing needles. And the nice thing about these, this is a magnet. So you just put the needles on this. And I like the fact that this platform is red. So, you know, it's easy to spot in a big mess. And they have a big eye, a big needle. And So I use these quite a lot too. And it's hard to miss them because they're that bright red. Aren't these adorable? Crochet. Okay, it still smells, Deb. It still has a beautiful lavender fragrance. It's amazing. I love it. Now this is a six strand floss, which I think is standard, right? Aren't they? Are they all six strands? And I think I'm going to use 3 strands of the 6. These scissors are not fabric scissors. I have my coffee here, and I've hit it twice, and I'm just flirting with danger here. So let me take a swig. I made a good pot of coffee. Dark. I used to drink, Amazon has a dark roast coffee that's really good, and they didn't have it. So I'm drinking, I've never drank it before, but I'm drinking a brand called Seattle's Best. And a couple of people in one of my streams said that I think Becky and Scott said they liked Seattle's Best. I'm very happy with it. It is good. And I always have trouble with this, and I know there's several ways of doing it. And I'm just going to go slow and let it kind of, whoops. Don't pull too hard, Ian. Just be patient. Be patient. Patience is a virtue that I don't have. How many people in here feel they possess the patience virtue? Because I don't. Sometimes I do. But patience, my dear. Good morning, Joyce. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. I am fighting with my floss. And I'm trying to separate it, and I'm not doing it. I know there's a way, and some people just grab it, right? And then just pull it while it's still in the wrapper. I've never been able to do that. I'm getting there, folks. Oh, yes. We're there. I did it. Okay. We've got 3. And I hang it up here on my light. And I'll put this back in the flossy thing, and we're all good. Not something you don't possess. Okay. No, Terry said she doesn't possess it. Anybody in here possess the virtue of patience? Terry doesn't. I don't. Not something I possess. Thank you, Brenda. Yes, and this has been, this is definitely slow stitch. That is for sure. Heck no, Michelle saying. Heck no. All right. No patience here. No patience. Joyce is saying she's got a lot of patience. That's good. I think people that have possessed patience have a totally different outlook on life, in the sense that it's positive, and I think people with patience have the ability to put things in perspective, and they're able to think things through, and not get too excited about stuff. I have a lot of patience, and it's not always helpful. You have a lot of, is that what you said? A lot of? Okay, patience, and it's not always healthy. Is that because you have 3 kids? I think so. Yeah, kids will absolutely. Nope. Yeah. Well, I get very frustrated, and like, when I really lose patience, I'm very frustrated, Sandra, because as I get older, I get weaker. And that just, oh my God, that just drives me crazy, because I used to be so friggin' strong. I mean, I was strong like a bull. I mean, I could open jars, and I could, do all sorts of things. And as I'm getting older, just not having the strength of to do things that I would do all the time and never even think about it. Oh, okay. Yes, sure. On the yeah, that takes a special kind of patience. Absolutely. That's yeah. And that's hard. And that's something you just have to do, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That's something that is just part of your job. You have to be patient. Well, I was a teacher for 34 years, and obviously I had to be patient with students. I mean, sometimes I would not be. Hard to explain. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see where I can understand what you mean when it may be not healthy, because you're just kind of too laid back, and people sometimes may take advantage of the fact that, oh, she's not gonna. Oh my God! You had to wait 2 weeks for a cancer. I hope it came back okay. I hope but that's frustrating too with the medical profession. Patients to wait, waiting for an appointment, especially if you're scheduled for surgery and it's non-essential. It's like, even though you're in pain, they're not, they know whatever, like say you're going to have a knee surgery, like it's not fatal, it's not terminal. And so what if you have to wait 6 months? Who cares? But you care. It's your life. Thank you, Terry. Have a good rest of the day. My gosh, it's only 7:42. If I were working, I would just be leaving for work right now. So I think I'm just going to make, I'm not going to try to hide these stitches. I mean, the stitches are going to be part of the embellishment, right? And I'm just going to try to make them somewhat straight and somewhat maybe the same size. That would be a good goal. I got to get up close to because there's a lot of fraying here. So that's what my plan is. Oh, good for you, Becky. Oh, and I have clothes on it. Oh, if you had to leave the house? Are you expecting to have to leave the house in a hurry? Or you're just ready to go? I'm not dressed to leave the house. I'm dressed, but I'm not dressed to leave the house. Okay. I have to pick up that prescription today. And we'll put it back on the shelf or whatever. It's been ready since, I think, Tuesday afternoon. I'm glad to know. No, I'm not streaming naked. Hi, Adria. There's Miss Trouble herself. God, we do have fun in Rosemary's. Popo was in earlier. She said, hey, at the beginning. Well, the stitches are kind of on it. They're kind of going a little slanty, but it's okay. It is what it is, right? It's so hard to. I'm so glad, Becky, that you recommended that keep this open, because it would have been a bitch to try to get in here if this thing had been closed shut. Take a nap by. Okay, Anina. Yeah, school started for me at 8 o'clock. But I usually would get there at 7:30-ish. And the school was only 5 miles away. So I didn't really have much of a commute. I mean, there was traffic and stuff. But no big deal. But some kids would be dropped off. Their parents would be going to work and they would drop their kids off, and there'd be kids there. I mean, like 6 o'clock in the morning. She was here. I don't think she's still here, but she did pop in and say hello. She may be lurking. Okay. That sounds comfy. Brenda's in PJ bottoms and a 4X t-shirt. I use for painting and messy jobs. It's clean. It's got good stains on it. Good, honest stains. That's what I like. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Didn't really want to do that, but I should pin. I always forget to pin stuff down. If I don't, it has a tendency to walk on me. And it's walking a little bit, but it's okay to see this because I like that. That's kind of cool. But maybe I should stick a pin in there. Stick a pin in it. Or stick a bird on it, as Janice would say. When in doubt, stick a bird on it. And that works. So today's theme, technically, yeah, it is. It's coming along. It feels so cozy. Ha ha ha. Technically, today's theme is watercolor and painting, but I have been given special permission from Raul to work on this and to try to finish it, which I do think I might finish it. And then I'm going to give it away because I don't need 2 tea cozies. And if anybody, and we'll later on, maybe in the afternoon, I'm going to be on again between 12 and 1:30. And then in that break when I'm not on, I think I might sew it up together on the machine. I'm not sure. But so I'd like to give this to somebody. And we can do, I'm going to do international. So whoever wins it, I don't care where you live, I'll find a way of getting it to you, even if you live in Timbuktu. Yes, I am 12. Well, let me double check. I printed out the schedule. Today is Friday. I'm 12 to 1:30. You're 1:30 to 2:30. Okay, yes, we drive. That's right. We're perfect. That's good. And after this stream at 9 o'clock, Kim Bolton comes on. So we're good. That's why I printed this out. This is the schedule that I've been following. And there was some confusion this morning. But I just followed this, whatever was printed out. And this was like the last or the most, the current one. This is the schedule that I've been following. It's so much easier just to print it out and then I have it to look at. And then there's no confusion for me, at least. Other people were confused, but I wasn't confused. I was where I was supposed to be. So we'll give it away. And if you don't have a teapot and you don't drink tea, then don't put a number in, when we get there. Because I don't know what else you could do with it. I guess you could take it apart. You could, you could get it and win it and then cut it up, I guess. I mean, I guess you could recycle it. There's several things you could do with it. You could cut it open, make it a wall hanging. I don't know. Maybe nobody wants it, which is fine. Buy yourself a little teapot. I started brewing my own tea a while ago, and there's a tea company. Oh, I can't think of its name now. It's not Lipton. Well, Lipton is a tea company, but it begins with an L, and they're based in, I do believe, Massachusetts, and they have a beautiful catalog, and they sell all sorts of loose leaf tea, and they come in these neat little tins, and I drink breakfast teas because I'm looking for tea that has the same or if not more caffeine than coffee. And that's usually the Irish breakfast tea or the English breakfast tea, Scottish breakfast tea. Yeah, that's true, Michelle. It could make you could cut it down. I mean, it's going to be sewn, but if you want it, you could definitely undo the stitches and you could hem it and make it. Yeah, it would make a nice journal cover. Yeah. It would make a very nice journal cover like that. Yeah, it would be a big journal. It could be a tall one. But someone could, yeah. Maybe I should leave it open. Not close it up and make it into a tea cozy. No, I'm gonna make it into a tea cozy. That was my plan. And then whatever you do with it is your plan. But my plan was to make a tea cozy. So I think I'll stick with my tea cozy plan. Yes, they are the black teas. And these blends, these Irish, Scottish, and English breakfast teas, all are black teas. Yeah. And then, of course, the longer a lot of them, they recommend that you brew them for at least 4 minutes. But they have all sorts of teas too. I mean, beyond the. It's just that they have a huge variety, and I think their prices are pretty good. So I've bought tea from them ever since I started. And I don't know how I found them. I can't remember now how I discovered them. But I've been very pleased with their customer service. And then a lot of times, if you order a certain amount, they will send you free samples. I don't go for the chamomile and I call them the frou-frou teas. I mean, I want my tea, and I always have my tea with a little milk and sugar. I bought this self-standing tea brew system. Of course, they advertised it, and I got it. And it's an interesting design. It's a glass cylinder, it's glass, but it's not glass. It's plastic, and it has where you can put the loose tea in, and you can turn it upside down, and you can brew it, and then you can drink it out of that, and it's like a thermal type of thing. Also, if I think of it, I'll show it to you later on. And I bought that, and I used that for a while, but most mornings I have coffee. But then I get into a tea kick. You like the frou-frou ones, yeah? Well, this company has an enormous selection of. I like black chai. Oh, you do? This one is not really glass. I'm saying I called it glass, but it's not glass. And it's got a special thing where you can put a stainless steel basket in it that holds the loose tea. And it's Mosey. It's got a. Oh, you're having chai tea right now. Yeah, I like chai tea. I like that. Do you have milk? I like it with a little milk. Well, actually, half and half. I don't have milk in the house. I just have half and half. We were talking yesterday, macaroni and cheese recipes that various people have, and Becky has a really interesting mac and cheese recipe that's her mother-in-law's, I think. And when Becky comes back in, I want to ask her. I think I'd like to try that recipe because I've never made mac and cheese with an egg. It took you 40 years to start drinking coffee with creamer, and I wish I liked tea, but I just can't get really used. Yeah, well, tea used to make me nauseous. The tannins in the tea, I would always feel like a little nauseous after I drank tea, and I don't know. It doesn't bother me now, but I would feel a little nauseous after tea. Now, if I go to a Chinese restaurant, I will drink that green tea because that just seems to really go well with Chinese food, in my opinion. Oh, wow. I really, look how crooked this is. Oh, Lordy. It just took off. But that's good because now you get to see more of this beautiful piece of fabric that's underneath. So I did it on purpose, not. You mostly drink tea when you're not feeling well. Yeah, I used to make myself, when I was working outside. I'm sorry. I worked on one of my many jobs. I worked on a 2,000 acre orchard and fruit trees place called Boyer's. and they were outside of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and we worked outside. I was one of the laborers. Um, and I painted there too, Andrea. Oh, thank you, Becky. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I painted in the wintertime when we couldn't work outside. They would send me to the migrant camps. They had 2 migrant camps on this orchard and nursery thing. One for Black folks and one for Hispanic workers. And this was like the true migrant. These guys were on the true migrant circuit. They would start down here in Florida, and they would pick the oranges and grapefruit crops. And then when they were done, then they would travel up north in a bus, and then they would arrive at this place, and they would work there until it was time to come back down here to pick the citrus crops. And they would go back and forth. I always felt so sorry for the kids. They weren't out in the fields working anymore. Thank God for that. But they were living in the migrant camps. And the migrant camp, they each had like a room, was more like a cell. And then they had a communal dining area. And so in the wintertime, when we weren't doing any work outside, one winter I was sent out there with beige paint again and said, paint the migrant camp. So I painted the migrant camp. And it took me quite a while, but I had my boom box. And I painted all of the cells and the kitchen, and the bathrooms, all of that. So that kept me busy for a while. I did a little bit of everything there. In return for working for them, my husband and I, we lived in one of their farmhouses that was on this 2,000-acre farm. They had bought up a lot of farms, so they all had houses, and they had names. We were on the cattle farm, and it was a beautiful 2-story brick house that had been built kind of like during the Civil War era, and it had the wide plank wooden floors with the homemade nails, and there was a big barn that they didn't use, and there was an acre-sized pond on the property too. And we lived there rent-free because I was working for them. And this is while my ex was getting his master's degree. So I worked on the farm while he went to school. And it was an interesting, and then this place had a gigantic fruit stand. People from Baltimore and DC would drive up to buy their apples and peaches. They had 32 different varieties of peaches and different varieties of apples. And they had fresh apricots that were, all of this fruit was literally fresh picked and brought to the fruit stand. And that place, especially, we made our own apple cider. So people would buy the fresh made apple cider, and you could get a half a peck, a half a bushel, that's what they sold it by. It's quite the concern, and it was run by 2 sisters. Martha and Mary Boyer. And they were two elderly ladies. I'm sure they're long gone by now, but they were sharp as a tack. And they ran that, and they had a son. Mary was never married or had children, but Martha had a son, William, and he ran some of the, he was kind of in charge. The ladies were in the office. And then they had a foreman named Francis. Nice man. But it was hard work. We worked 55 hours a week, 10 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and 5 hours on Saturday. And the only paid holiday was the first day of deer hunting, the deer season, and Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day. That was it. And I worked out in the fields. And I did a little bit of everything. I planted trees. I pruned trees. I graded apples. They had a huge CA storage building, a CA storage. If you ever look on a bag of apples, sometimes it'll say CA on them. That means it's controlled atmosphere. And what they do is they put the apples in this huge building, and then they suck all the oxygen out of the building, and they put in another gas, and I can't remember the other gas that they put in that, and that helps to store the apples for a long time. Why is the first day of, because everyone was big deer hunters, and a lot of them counted on that meat in their freezers. They all had, and even in New York, where I taught, the kids could actually take deer season, the first day of deer season, off if they came to the school office and showed a valid deer hunting license. They were excused from school for that day. Big deal. Big deal. Now, I'll tell you what, the first morning of deer season, you're laying in bed and just about dawn, because that's when it starts. As soon as the sun comes up, you're laying there and all you hear is boom, 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 boom. I mean, guns going off. Oh, it's unbelievable. I never went deer hunting. I don't think I could shoot Bambi. I could eat Bambi, but I couldn't shoot Bambi. Love venison. And I remember I remember growing up as a kid, people would say, venison is very gamey. And then the guy that ran the farm here, Bill, he said the reason why it's gamey is because people don't take care of it properly. As soon as they shoot it, the deer needs to be gutted, and it needs to be under refrigeration. And what the hunters, at least on Long Island, did, they would drive up, I don't know, 7 or 8 hours to upstate New York to go deer hunting, right? And then if they shot a deer, this is what they would field gut it. And then they would strap the deer to the hood of the car and drive home with the deer on the hood of the car. So here's this deer on the hot roof of a car for 7 to 8 hours. Then they would get home with the deer, and then they would hang it from a tree for a couple of days before they cut it down and butchered it. Well, no wonder it was gamey. It was rancid. They came to your farm? Yeah. Hunting's a big deal. Oh, yeah, where you are? I'm sure it is. Well, people will go out spotting before deer season, which is really not legal. what spotting is, if I recall, and maybe Brendan can remember, isn't that when you go out in the car and you literally have a spotlight and you kind of spot the deer at dusk in the fields and everything, just to have an idea of where they are? You know, like a deer in headlights type of thing. And you could always hear the guns going off. And I had a friend, a family that lived in Maple Springs, and that was a big, big deal for them. And she had 4 boys, and the boys and the dad and the uncles, they would go out as a, you know, it's a deer hunting party, and they would like herd deer, you know, to where they were set up. There would be deer stands and whatever. And she would put up the venison, and she canned it. What I mean by canning it, she would take chunks of deer meat and put them in pint jars, and then can it like you would can vegetables, and in a pressure cooker, type of like a canning thing, pressure cooker. So the deer meat was cooked, and now it was in these sealed pint jars. And that's how she preserved all the venison, because these guys would, you know, there would be maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7 of them, and they would all, you know, if they all got a deer, that's a lot of venison, right? And she was kind enough. I hate that when that happens. Now, I specifically put that over here so I would see it, right? And I didn't put it back there. No, that's the needle. Huh. But she would can it. And she was kind enough to give me a pint of her canned venison. All I can say is, oh my God, OMG. It was so good, tender, and like the juices in there, you can make a quick gravy. Talk about good eats. And I only got it, you know, I only got 1 pint, because they kind of, everyone in her, and she had 4 boys. And this put a lot of meat on the table for those boys, and they all had big appetites. So I was very lucky that she shared 1 little pint of it with me. But oh God, well, I found another threader because I lost the other one. And this one works just as well. Look at all these different threaders. This one is actually better because then you don't have to get it through the wire. I'm putting it right here, over here. You see where I put that? I'm almost done. I'm not going to have enough thread to get all the way around. Of course, right? Almost, though. Almost. Maybe I'll go like this. Do this. Ah. My daughter wanted to hunt. I took her out one time, and we sat in the cold and saw no deer. Watched a morning raccoon lead 3 babies up to the hollow tree. After night, honey. Yeah. Oh, that's good. It was a good time. Yeah, yeah. Well, you know that men, they build these elaborate deer stands, and they climb up into the tree, and they wait. And I'm sure it's same where you are, but in New York they had a bow and arrow season for deer. And then they have, the shotgun season. And I went deer hunting with my brother-in-law, and he was bow hunting for deer. And we sat up behind, like up at the edge of a cornfield. So, and he was going down into the hollow, and because there were some deer down there, so we were sitting up, and we could really watch him as he proceeded down into the hollow. And he was like in camouflage, and he was standing, and I guess there was some, I don't know, it was some bushes or a tree or something, but he had some decent coverage. And it was funny because he shot off the first arrow, and he missed. And the deer were grazing, and since it wasn't a gun, the deer didn't run. The deer just basically put its head up and then put its head down and went back to eating. So then Henry fired off another arrow, and he missed again. And the deer did the same thing, kind of looked up and went, I don't see it, went back to eating. The next thing we know, we see Henry come out from where he was hiding with both of his hands up, just screaming. And of course, then the deer went running off. He was just so frustrated that he couldn't successfully shoot the deer. So Henry took my ex out hunting. So Bruce got all of the accoutrements, the orange suit and the shotgun and everything you need to be a deer hunter. And they went, his dad and Henry went deer hunting. And Bruce shot what's known as a spring buck. So it was a smaller deer. And fortunately, they field gutted it out in the field, and then they brought it in. And they brought it in, and they put it in our garage, and they hung it from the rafters in the garage. Now it's about 32-ish, so it's okay. It's under. Hi, Vanessa. So it's under refrigeration. It's about 32 degrees, and it's been field gutted, and then Henry proceeded to skin it with his. I'm glad he skinned it because I didn't want to tackle that. And then he left, so now we had this naked deer hanging in the garage, and there it hung. And Monday came. I guess they shot it on a Saturday or Sunday, and Monday came. Bruce went off to work, and there was the deer, me and the deer. So I decided that I would butcher it. I would attempt to butcher the deer. And I knew nothing about butchering a deer or any meat for that matter. I could fillet a fish, but so I got out the good old Joy of Cooking. Now, in the Joy of Cooking cookbook, they actually have pictures of how to skin a squirrel and dress a rabbit, but nothing about venison. So I figured the meat would be laid out in the venison pretty much like a beef, right? Cattle would look. So I opened up the thing to the page where it had the chart of all the cuts of meat. Yeah. And I followed that. And then I went out to the garage and I proceeded to try to cut the deer in half with a hunting knife, because I knew I could only carry half of it in. Now, first, before I did that, I need to tell you, I had to take my youngest son to nursery school because he could not have been around when I was doing this because he was very sensitive, about that kind of thing. So I took him to nursery school. So I only had 2.5 hours to do this because I had to pick him up from nursery school. So I got the deer finally. I got it cut in half, and I carried in the front half of the deer, and I proceeded to butcher it, cut it up to the parts according to the Joy of Cookbook map of a beef cattle. Got the meat all wrapped up, and freezer wrap and labeled, and then went back and picked up my son at nursery school. I had set up a card table with a vinyl, table cloth on it. Cleaned that all up. And then Richard came home from school and he went out to the garage and the other half of the deer was there and he saw that. He didn't seem to be too upset about it. So the next time he went to nursery school, I did the same thing. I hauled in the rear hind quarter of the deer, butchered that. I ground up a lot of the deer. Oh, okay. All right. And then my father-in-law and brother-in-law would sometimes, if they had deer, they would butcher the deer together. And I sometimes would go over and help them. But then after that, whenever there was deer, I didn't make sausage, but I had sausage made for me. A guy made sausage. You could pay him. He made sausage. He made like a hot dog type of thing. He did deer jerky. And he was very reasonable. And there was a local grocery store that was, this is after I'm divorced now and I'm living in a different town, about 4 miles from where I lived when I was married. And there was a little grocery store, Marsh's, and it had the wooden floors and it was very local. And John Marsh would butcher deer. And he only charged $20 a deer. And he would keep the deal was he would keep the skin. He would skin it, he would keep the skin, and you would pay him $20 and he would cut it up any way you wanted. So we always had the tenderloin of the deer, which would be the filet mignon, the strip of meat that comes right down the spinal cord. I would always have that butchered so that I would leave the pin bone in and have it cut into 2-inch pieces. Oh my God, that when you put that on the grill, talk about melt in your mouth. Ooh. And so he would butcher it. And then I had a lot of it ground up because that's the way my boys would eat it. They would eat it ground up and I would have it ground because, as you know, venison is very, very lean. But if you could grind it up with a mix of just the fattiest hamburger, and deer chili, yeah. So it was mixed. Mine was ground up with hamburger, like the fattiest hamburger you could buy. And I think I did maybe a 40-60 blend or something. And I ground a lot of it up because then the boys would eat, I could do meatloaf, meatballs, chili, you name it. There was many more ways I could use it in our diet. Like a time. So a funny story. Again, a small town. When I moved to, I lived in a small town and moved to another small town called Bemis Point. And one day I'm looking out my backyard and I see a dog dragging like a hind quarter of a deer through my backyard. And I knew where it came from. It had to have come from Marsh's Market because when he'd get done butchering, he would just throw, the bones of the carcass in a big 50-gallon oil drum and put a piece of plywood and a cinder block on top of it. Well, apparently this dog was able to get into it and decided he was going to walk off with a hind haunch of deer. And I called John. I said, John, this is Ian Laura. And he said, yeah, Ian, what's up? And I said, well, the dog just came through my yard with a haunch of deer. And he said, well, why do you think I have anything to do with that? And then he laughed and he said, okay, I'll come get it. And then maybe a week or so later, I came home and a dog had dragged a deer head up onto my porch. I called John again. John, I have a deer head on my porch. And again, he said, why do you keep on calling me? And then he laughed and he came and got the deer head. But, so the dogs enjoyed the deer too. Friend bought us some drowned elk. I've had elk. I've had mule deer, because Henry, my brother-in-law, we called him the Great White Hunter because he would fly and travel anywhere to hunt. And he went hunting and he got elk and he would share, and mule deer and he would share, mule deer. And so he was good. Ooh, a good mix. Bacon too. Oh, I bet that would be that bacon fat. Ooh, I'd love the venison sausage this one guy made. And he even made like a hot dog type of thing. And a hot dog is a type of sausage. And he made it like a hot dog out of venison. And the other thing that's really, really good when you're butchering the deer, and you have to do it, is to eat the deer heart and the deer liver. That is so tender. You just slice it thin, dredge it in flour, and saute it in butter. Oh, gosh. And the liver is so mild. It's just like, it's milder than liverwurst. And if you don't like liver, you don't like liver. But I'd never had, I'd had liverwurst, but I'd never had liver. And we would eat the deer liver and deer heart while we were butchering. That would be a little snack, or a little schnibble, as they called it. You had ground elk meat. That's good eats too. Deer chili, always popular. Yeah, we ate a lot of deer. Now, there's deer hunting down here, but the Florida deer are much tinier, and they're really on this kind of scrawny side. But there's a season, and I had students that were, deer hunters and stuff, and they always promised me that they would give me some deer. And I waited. to get that deer, the venison, to eat, and never got any. I even had parents say, "Oh yeah. Well, next time we go hunting, we'll give you some of the venison." Well, that never came about, because I would have gladly taken that. It's good eats, and it is important that they thin out the herds. So the herds are pretty well managed. You only can shoot one doe, and I think in New York, you bought your deer license, and then it was almost like a lottery to get a doe license. And on the farm, obviously, a lot of those, the five guys, family men that worked on the farm, the pay was really low. It was very low pay, but you got a roof over your head. But the pay was very low. And these guys really depended on filling their freezers with venison. Okay, Michelle, see you all later. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Got that big chunk on, huh? So here it is, in half, like so. Like so. It's going to be kind of, ow, those pins, little pins are sharp. All right, so that's going to come down here. That's all right. I like that. So let's do some other. I got about a half an hour, and we're all hanging in here for the most part. We're doing well. That's good. Let's put some more embellishments on. I've got Becky's little crocheted flowers. Let's put some of these on, shall we? As Barbara Owen would say, shall we? They're so pretty. Let's see here. I want to put, what do you think? Over here. Yeah, I'm going to put it on the Chanel, because then you can see it against the white, and it's a lot of texture. And I think I'll use, I don't know. I think I'll use the floss, and I can just put one little stitch in each petal. And if I'm feeling very adventuresome, maybe I will do a French knot right in the middle. And I'll either be successful or not. So Michelle's going to go get some shut-eye. And again, I don't think she's after me. No, She's not after me. Where is she? Yes, we just talked about this. Michelle is after me. 1:30. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay. These are adorable, Becky. What size? What size crochet hook did you use for something like that? That must have been a really tiny crochet hook. Well, I don't know. Is Becky in here? Maybe not. She may be. I'm not sure. I think I'll just do this. Just take one little stitch like so. Just like that. One little stitch right there. Oh, wow. Oh, thank you, Becky. Oh, metal. Size 1. Oh, that is tiny. Yeah, I've got a crochet hook right in here with my, here's a little one. This is a 2mm. I guess it's a 2. So Becky used a crochet hook smaller than this to make this. I've got my crochet hook ready to go. I'm going to try it again. I am. I'm not done. I'm not giving up. I like to say I'm not a hooker yet. Someday I'll be a hooker. Oh, smaller than that. Yeah. I have crocheted some strings. You know, I've gotten like a string of crochet. I haven't made anything, but maybe a practice. And I was just trying. I was trying for consistency because they would, you know, the stitch would be really tight, and then it would be really loose. And obviously the goal was to get a foot long piece that was, you know, all about the same size. That was the goal. Now I couldn't pick up and crochet right now because I have to go back and look at how it's done. And I told you I always have trouble with the tension and wrapping the yarn around my finger. And I saw somebody that had like a thing on their finger to kind of hook the yarn on. We talked about this yesterday. And I have a ring, really ugly ring that is one of those big rings, and it has like a little design on it. It has like a piece that sticks out. I think if that would probably work in terms of hanging on to the wrapping the yarn around it. Yeah, when I bought the crochet kit, and oops, and I got all of the crochet hooks, all the different sizes, and I bought some cheap yarn, and I was all set to go. And you know, you guys sit there and stuff that, oh my God, Becky crochets all of the Afghans and all of all the different colors. It's just amazing, beyond, and then just beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to attempt to do a French knot. So let's do that. Come up through the middle here, hopefully. And that's not the middle, so we'll poke again. That's getting closer. I'm getting closer to the middle. That's not really the middle. One more poke. Let's see whether I can. That's good enough. All right. So a French knot. If I can get. I tell you, if there's a pin or if there's anything you can get caught on, you know it's going to get. Look, here's a pin hiding here. Okay. Oh, look, isn't that cute? Now, someone said it's the direction you wrap the thread around. I always go this way. I don't know whether that's right or not. I always go around 4 times, and then I'm going to come in right beside where I came out. We're going to pull, and every time I do this, it's always a miracle. And I didn't get a French knot, so I can try again. What did I do wrong? Did I go around the wrong? I'll go around the other way. I'll go this way. Well, maybe that is the way you're supposed to go. I didn't know it made any difference which way you went. Please, 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 please. Nope. Try it one more time. I made a couple the other day. I think every time I make one, I think it's just a crapshoot. One, two, three, 4. Oops. I lost that one. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. All right. Once you start your pin back through, you have to push your wraps down to the fabric. Okay. All right. Does it matter which way I go? I don't think it does. Come on. So you're saying I need... Jeez. See. Push it down like so before I... Came off. Okay, I didn't think so. All right, wait, 1. Keeps on coming off when I push it down. Yeah, this is not. Come on in. There's the pack. Don't push down. And then when I tighten it, that's when it... Well, there it is, but it's not really a French knot, so... It didn't go all the way down, see? But there's the knot. But if I go pull hard, I think it'll come through. Let's see. You guys are probably going, what the hell? Tell her to stop, give up. This is where I just get beyond. I'm obstinate. I made all those French knots in that pin cushion. Did you see all of those? There's hundreds of them. It was great practice. And this is not, well, We'll cut this off. I'm going to try one more time. And then we'll move on to, maybe I know what I'll do. I'll put a button. How about a button right here? There we go. Problem solved. I'll do a button, and I will practice French. I have to put French knots in that other thing too. But I did hundreds of them in this pin cushion that I made. Look at all of them. Look at all these French knots I made. Look at all of them. Those are all French knots. Look at all of them. French knots, French knots, French knots, French knots on top of French knots. French knots on flowers. Yeah. I must have been on a roll that day. I don't know. All right. Oh. Let me open this, and buttons will fly everywhere. No, they will not fly everywhere. All right. Do I have anything that would be pretty or tiny? Navy blue. Oh, how about a bead? How about a bead? Oh, look at these beads. I bought these at a Defy auction. I don't know why I bought the beads. I don't do anything with beads. And they were like they were sold by weight, 5 pounds of beads. And they're heavy and they're glass and they're gorgeous. And they're just fun to look at. Look at these beads. Aren't they unbelievable? Look at them. I can play with these. Oh, thank you, Deb. Now I don't feel so bad. But look at these beads. Ooh. Look at them. Look at some of them. These are going, a lot of these are going on here. Just don't want to spill them. Okay, let's look at these. Just love the sound of them. Yeah. All right. I know we can find something in here. Can do that. No. How about a yellow one? How about a yellow one? How about that one's lying down? We could do a yellow one there. I like that. Ooh. Look at this. A little gold. Oops. A little gold thing. Look at these beads. Isn't this bead gorgeous? Look at that bead. It's pink. Oh, wow. Dressing is hard. I bet. You must be exhausted. Oh, my God. I can remember getting dressed after surgery for the first time. I had to lie down. I was so tired. I was just exhausted. Look at this bead. Okay. I think I'm going to go with that little yellow one. And this one's chipped. I like that. And there's a red one here. I think the yellow one would show up. Yeah, the yellow one's going to pop. So let's, oh, look at this orange one. I'm sorry, folks. They're rolling away. No, stop. Oh, my gosh. All right, I'm going to do the yellow one. I think that'll be pretty. And then I have those really, hi, Chris. How are you? You're back in full swing, aren't you? I think your little vacation is over and you're back teaching. No, I haven't been live all night. No. Yesterday, I was on from 3 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. But today, I'm only on to 9. I've been on since 6. Actually, I came on a little earlier to help Miriam out. And then I'm on again later this afternoon, I think from 12 to 1:30. And then that's it. And then until tomorrow when I have the scheduled stream. What do you think? I think that's pretty. She's getting them since she was 3 or 4. Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool. So daughter put the beads out by feeders for the crows to carry off. Oh, okay. Now do the crows just like shiny things, or do they use those in their nests? For a murder of crows? Crows are so smart. I watched a video where they had like a bottle, like a narrow necked kind of container of water, where the crow could get its beaks kind of in its head partly in the container, but he couldn't reach the water, and they had left rocks around. And this was like, they knew, they were just filming what they knew the crow was going to do. And the crow systematically picked up rocks and dropped them into this container that had water in it. And every time he dropped a rock in it, the water raised. And he kept on doing it until the water was at a level where he could drink the water. Oh, I know. Yeah, I figured that's why you weren't here, because you were back at school. Because I was amazed when I saw the crow actually manipulating the level of the water so he could drink the water, and then he drank the water. It was fascinating. But I know they're very smart. And I know they use tools. I mean, using the rocks to raise the water that's a tool using animal. Okay, I think that's going to be fine. I'm happy with that. This is a tea cozy I'm making. And it's going to be folded up, and it's going to go over a teapot to keep your tea hot. I think I don't need any more than 2 stitches. It's not going anywhere. Okay. Oh, I almost lost that thread. Almost, but not. I was trying to do a French knot there, which did not, French knot did not work out. So, when all else fails, put a bead on it. And I have these lovely beads. I've got some gorgeous, gorgeous beads. I bought that at a Defy auction. All right, I'm liking that. What do you think, folks, as an embellishment? It's very pretty. I got about 13 minutes left. I have time for another embellishment. And I'm going to use more of Becky's crocheted flowers. But before I do that, let's find another embellishment that we can stick on here. Ooh. I got a piece of this. I don't know about that though. I'll put that over here. I cut these flowers. Oh, I have these little, because I didn't have those. I've got these little flowers that I cut apart, these little appliques. Okay, we have 7 crows. They come every morning. When we had foot of snow, they were eating cat food on the porch. They brought ribbon flowers from nearby cemetery as a thank you. Aw. Aw. I bet that was a thank you. They're so smart. I like crows. We have quite a few crows here. We have a sizely crow population. I have this. Like that. Why don't we stick this? Yeah, Put this over. That has a button, so we could stick maybe this on a. I think that should be on a seam, huh? I should really use the white thread, so let me do something where I can use the floss, so I don't have to change. Let me look in here. What's in here? A little car. This was all in that slow stitch kit from from Brooke. Oh, I think that's pretty. I like the color of that button. Look at the color of that button. Isn't that pretty? You just finished the Cal Afghan? Oh, wow, Becky. I'm going to put that button right there in the middle of that piece of bandana. Oh, there's a pretty blue button, too. Ooh, I don't know. That's pretty. Well, I'm going to keep that out for sure. I'll use it. But that blue looks nice there. Isn't this neat? This was part of that kit. And it was filled with all these little doohickeys and thingamajigs. And, ooh, sorry about that. And sequins and then I remembered there's some wooden buttons. Oh, there's a star. I have one star left. Look, a little star. Bye, Chris. Thanks for stopping in. I know you're so busy now. Poor Chris doesn't really get much of a break in her teaching duties. I do believe she teaches English as a second language in Mexico. She lives in Mexico with her dad. All right, the button. I think I can use the floss for that button. That little bit of blue will look nice. And I just have a little bit of floss left, so that'll be perfect. And the timing would be perfect. Becky, I have a favor. I lost that first stream that I had put together. Would you be so kind as to put Kim Bolton's link in for me? I would appreciate that. I had it all set up, but then when I don't know, I lost that. When I had to upgrade my program, I lost the things that I had already or something. It wasn't there. Thank you. So there is Kim's email address, YouTube channel address. Thank you, Becky. And Kim's coming on in 8 minutes or sooner. Once I get this button on, I will say adios. Auf Wiedersehen. Bon voyage. No, I'm not going on. Au revoir. Bonsoir. No. I told stories about all my languages that I took and how I know none of them. Je m'appelle Anne. Knowles thanking Becky. Becky's a super mod. She sure is. And when I mod, I'm sitting there. I'm so interested in the thing, I forget to go links. Oh, thank you, Roseanne. Oh, that's a direct link to her upcoming. Okay, Raoul said, And you are sandwich streaming Kim today after Kim. I am? Is that a change? Because I don't mind. Are you telling me? Okay. So, oh, I am. No, I'm not. I did. Yes. I'm sorry. Yes, I am sandwiching. Yes. Yes, because I'm here. Kim, me. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I am. I am the sandwich. I am the piece of bread between Kim. Yes, I thought I was on again. I got you. Yeah, you're right. I have it on my. Thank you. Oh, all righty. Okay. Well, I'm going to say again, so long, and thank you again so much for being here and supporting the Streamathon. Thank you so much for the mods, and thank you, Raul and Miriam. I know this has not been an easy adventure with all the hiccups, and but somehow we muddle through. Yes, I come on at 12 to 1:30. There's Ruth. Bye, Ruth. I'll see you all later. And if you can't be good, be fabulous. Bye, folks. Thank you.